What's up everyone, my name is Abby, I like to read, and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in the month of February. So I read a total of 10 books in February. I didn't get to a couple books that were originally on my TBR, but I added a bunch of books that were not on my TBR. I got a little sidetracked. It happens. But let's start with the books that I did not end up reading from my original February TBR. The first one is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I ended up actually DNFing this. I didn't get too far through this, but I'm not a circus girly. I just wasn't enjoying the circus theme. I wasn't enjoying the characters, so I figured life is too short to read a book that you don't want to read. The second book I didn't get to was Dreams of God and Monsters by Laini Taylor. This is the third book in the Daughter Smoke and Bone trilogy. So I moved this to my March TBR, but a little spoiler for my March wrap-up, which I have not filmed yet, I ended up DNFing this book completely. So it's such a shame because this is the last book in a trilogy, but I couldn't do it. I wasn't a fan of the writing style, and I'll explain more about it in my March wrap-up. And the third book that I didn't get to in February wasn't actually my fault. It was Rising Dawn by Beck Michaels. This is the fourth book in the Guardians of the Maiden series. The release date was simply moved to another time. So it was originally supposed to come out in February, but it was moved to, I think, maybe late spring, early summer. So obviously could not read it. Okay, on to the books that I did actually read. The first book was not on my original TBR. I saw an ad and I fell for it. And that book is White Horse Black Knight by Evie Marceau. I don't know how to pronounce it. This is the first book in the God Kissed Bride series. I rated this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. And I actually put the second book that was going to come out in March on my March TBR. You will see in my wrap up what I thought about it, because currently it's the last day of March and I've already read it by now, but you know. The next few books I listened to on audio. The first one actually was a Kindle book, but the Kindle book came with the audio format, which is really cool, so I listened to it. And that is In the Likely Events by Rebecca Yarros. This also was not on my original TBR. I was sick and I just needed a short, easy read. I gave this 4 stars. It was exactly what I wanted, a short, easy read. The next book is a book that was originally on my TBR, and that is Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. This is a standalone in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I rated this 4 stars. I liked it, but I wanted more, and I wanted additional time to really develop these characters. That's the one thing I don't like about standalones, is I feel like I don't have enough time to really get to know the characters, fall in love with them, and have like an actual developed relationship between the love interests. The next book was not on my original TBR, and that is A Broken Promise by Tatiana Walker. This is the first book in the Freckled Fate trilogy. I rated this 3 stars. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I think it might have been because I didn't like the narrator. So I'm gonna try the second book eventually, but read it on Kindle instead of listening to it, because I just didn't like the narration and the voices that they did. The next 4 books that I read are all by Melissa K. Rorich. All of them, with the exception of this novella, I listened to on Audible because I love the narrator's voices on Audible. But I love them so much that I bought the series, so I'm going to show you the original covers, or the physical covers, but I did listen to this on Audible. The first one is Lady of Embers. This is the 4th book in the Lady of Darkness series. I give it 5 stars. It was so good. I loved it. I love this series so much. Have nothing but great things to say about it. The Reaper is a novella. It is 4.5. It is a kind of backstory of one of the characters. It was really, really dark. It's meant to be dark. It's a dark character with a very dark situation. I gave it 4 stars. It's very short, but it was still good to have context on this character. And then the fifth and final book in this series is Lady of Starfire. I give this book 5 stars. Such a good ending to such a good series. I'm honestly so excited to actually reread the series because I want to tab all of the books. And then the next book I read of Melissa K. Roerich is Reign of Shadows and Endings. This is the first book in the Legacy series. I have so many thoughts on this series. I actually thought about doing a full book review, but ended up not getting around to it. This was not on my original TBR, but after I finished those books, I really wanted to get into another one of her series. Very, very different from the Lady of Darkness series. This is a dark fantasy with romance, but heavily morally gray main love interest, main male character, to the point of where I would say it's not morally gray, you're just a bad person. I don't like him. I would love for other love interests to happen. I had this point in time, I have read the second book and I still don't like him. But it is on the track of him supposedly being redeemed. I still hold a grudge. I still hold a huge grudge against this main character, and I still want her to have a different love interest. But this series, when you take out the main male character, so good. The development of the main female character and the side characters are amazing. I love to see Tessa's growth in this series, and it's really good. I like it. The next book I read was A Vicious Game by Melissa Blair. This is the third book in the Halfling saga. So good. 5 out of 5 stars. I actually have a full book review on this if you are interested on seeing my exact thoughts and kind of discussing the whole book. The last book that I read in February is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third book in the Crescent City series. I gave this book 4 stars. I also have a video review on this. I will link all the reviews down below if you want to hear all of my deep thoughts and rambles about this book. So those are all the books I read in the month of February. I read a lot that I wasn't originally going to read, but hey, that is life. Sometimes you get distracted with book ads on Instagram. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you read in February, even though it's probably going to be like March, the end of March or April when I post this, so February will be far away. But subscribe if you want to see more content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. If you are interested. This was a freckled fate. No. So it was a real...